Hello and welcome back to BlueTube. With 2025 now underway, we've got the January transfer window to look forward to, and of course what comes with that is all sorts of rumours and whispers about who your beloved team may end up departing with or signing on and all of that fun stuff. So we thought that we would do a video on that where we would talk about the possible ins and outs, comings and goings of our beloved Birmingham City. So I'll throw it over to you.
Absolutely, yeah. We've done a bit of a document, haven't we? Today, had a look, done a bit of digging around the internet and a bit of social media. And the first thing that I wanted to point out, Ben, was that Chris Davis had said that it was going to be a bit of a quiet January window, although there's still rumours flying around. And I wonder if Craig Gardner feels the same, who tends to do all the purchasing and the deals and things like that.
Heavily involved, isn't he?
Yeah, but obviously, as you say, the rumour mill still runs on, and there's been a few things mentioned to us as well that I've noticed in the comments that people have said that we mentioned on one of the previews before that, what do you want us to do? And they've said do some transfer stuff. So, but I'm going to throw another couple of things at the end of this as well. A couple of players that have left us from last season. I just thought I'd update you with how that's going, just to keep an eye on things and just I thought it'd just be a bit interesting. So, but the first one I'm going to mention, moving on, is this Phil Newman.
Yeah.
From the German Bundesliga, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Hanover 96.
Yeah, he plays for Hanover 96. We were linked heavily with him in the summer, and he's supposed to have been upset that it didn't happen.
Oh, really? The player himself isn't too
apparently,
pleased?
yeah. I've cut and pasted a little bit of the report here. Reports from German outlet Bild indicate that Newman, or BILD, whatever that means, currently at Hanover 96, is edging closer to a move to St Andrews at Knighthead Park, after a summer bid of €4 million from Blues was turned down by his club. Newman, who has expressed his disappointment over their decision to reject the offer, is keen on a move to England. With just over 6 months remaining on his contract and a refusal to sign an extension.
Oh, well, that tells you everything then.
So he's coming, isn't he? He's there. Yeah, I'm going to pick him up from the airport, actually.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hanover sporting director Marcus Mann recently confirmed the breakdown of renewal talks, stating, "We are unable to reach an agreement." Now, that doesn't mean he's coming to Blues, but it means he's unhappy. And he said that it's reported that he was unhappy that the fact that the bid from Blues was turned down at the time. Just a little bit about him then. So he's in the Bundesliga. He's made 16 appearances so far this season. Now, do they have a winter break over there? Because I've noticed there's not been a...
Don't watch the Bundesliga, Dad.
I know, I see a little bit of it. I see a little bit, but I wasn't sure. 16 appearances, had 5 yellow cards, no goals, no assists or anything like that, but you don't expect too much from a centre-back, do you? He's a right-sided centre-back. He's 27 years old. He's a big lad, 1.92 metres tall. I'm in feet and inches still, I am. So let's wait and see on that one. If anyone's got any, nous on what's going on.
What would we make of that signing then? Are you for it? Are you against it?
I think, and it'll get on to something I've mentioned here about Sanderson going out. But Chris Davis, I'm going to say it now, has said that publicly that Sanderson is still an important member of the squad. Now, that's just manager talk for us. Like, I'm not telling you anything. I'm just going to get on with my job. And
he has to, because what if Sanderson doesn't go anywhere?
Absolutely. But if something's going on, then why not just say, Sanderson's having talks or someone's looking at this. But
you can't.
I don't know. Other managers do. Other managers do.
I can see why you'd be cagey.
I can. I'm not going to knock it. Moving on to this Ronan Darcy. Now, you heard this, didn't you? Well, we both heard a bit of it when we were watching the Crawley match recently. Steve Evans
seemed like he dropped a little bit of a perler there.
Yeah, well,
like he said something that he shouldn't have said.
That's the only place I've seen this. And I've put here, this was claimed by Steve Evans when he was a guest on Sky covering the Blues v Crawley match. He heavily intimated Blues had been in touch regarding a January move, and he admitted that his interest in him as a manager was flawed when he learned that Blues were in for him. Is that basically what you took that as at the time?
Trying to remember what he said now. I said something like, well, when you're in the middle of negotiations and then you hear that Birmingham City have been on the phone, you just you put your phone down and walk away from the table, is what he said. Basically saying, what you can insinuate from that is that he wanted to try and sign this Ronan Darcy for Rotherham, heard that we were interested and thought there's no point of even bothering.
He back in 2022, Ronan Darcy signed a 2-year deal for the then League Two side Swindon Town for an undisclosed fee after a trial period with them, and then joined Crawley last July for an undisclosed fee. And this season he's made 24 appearances with 1,780 minutes played, and in that time 6 assists with 2 goals.
Right.
Okay, yeah, like, is that something? Have we got a space for someone like him?
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking, especially with this one. I mean, Phil Newman's completely different. I'd welcome him into the club, to be honest. And I think, although it pains me to say, it's probably time for Sanderson to go. I'd be much more comfortable with a tough rock that is Phil Newman in the back six. I don't think Sanderson's quite like that. But with this Ronan Darcy, I just wonder, for who? Who would you have him in for? I don't really understand what more he could offer, but...
And on this, I forget where I got the information from. It might have been Transfer Market, MRKT, it's spelt, and they've only got him worth 400,000 on here, updated 27th of December. So that'll be an interesting one. Is it someone? He's 24, so it's not like you're going to bring him in and play him in the reserves or anything. So
we'll just have to see, I suppose. But if we're interested in him, then. There's surely got to be a purpose, and I wonder what we'd end up doing with a player like that. But I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. There's only rumours for now. But if Steve Evans is a manager in the same division,
why say that?
Yeah, of course.
Say that?
Yeah,
interesting. Right, Robbie Cook. Have you heard of him?
What do you think?
Blues were rumoured to have been targeting 17-year-old goalkeeper from Australia's Perth Glory originally, but seem to have been pipped by Leeds. Sunderland, who he was on trial with, also lost out, and it looks like he's going to Leeds. But apparently Blues have been trying to get in there recently to try and get him as... he's not going to be a number one keeper, is he? Whereas Leeds have been said to, let's say he's going to be one that they will bring on, rather than he's 17. But and that was the other one. And then the other one that's been quite publicly well known over the last few weeks that I've certainly seen on social media a bit is Nathan Redmond, who has been mentioned, as I say, on social media, but there's nothing official that I've seen really, apart from one article from a reporter called Wayne Vassey, which was reported just on Christmas Eve last week, actually, and that the club were making plans for some sort of plan to bring him in. He's currently with Burnley. But he's made no appearances for Burnley since Scott Parker's been their manager. He doesn't fancy him at all. He's 30, so at this level he's still got a lot in him. But it'd be great, wouldn't it? And this was on Transfer Markets as being worth £4 million, still at 30, possibly as the next Prem. And he was at where was he? He was at Norwich. Went to Norwich from Blues in the 13-14 season. He joined them. Since then, he's been around Southampton, Besiktas, and Burnley, where he's currently. What would we make of that then if we brought Nathan Redmond in? How would you like that?
Loads of people have been saying no. They wouldn't fancy him back, and they feel as though we have enough. I feel like his experience would be valuable for our team. I'd welcome him back with my arms open. I would. I think that I certainly think they would offer something different. Once again, going off of his experience, a youth player, Birmingham fan, although I don't think that would play into it as much as it would for the likes of Allsop.
He is a Birmingham lad.
He is.
Yeah.
I think that he would add an extra layer of dynamism to our team if he came back. A real good bit of experience with some of the younger lads, and I think he could do 30 isn't an age, I think, for a footballer. I mean, potentially you could say a little bit more for a winger, you losing that yard of pace. But at this level, League One, even in the Championship, he's not getting anywhere at Burnley, is he, at the moment? I think he can do something for us. That's it's just my thoughts on it. I can see why people would disagree with that. I know why that's unpopular. I think that there are many, 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 many other players out there who are much, much better that we can go for. but I don't think that this would be a backward step by any stretch of the imagination. I think that he could be good for us. Good option off the bench.
I was then looking at some of the outs and going back to what we were saying
Hang
about.
on a minute. Whoa. You ain't getting away from that one. What
What?
do you reckon?
About-
Nathan Redmond? Go
I've been nonplussed. Who do we change for? The only thing I could think of at the moment is, do you play him on the left because we're not going to be playing
What, do you want to
Yokoyama?
know something else that I'm thinking?
But
literally
I don't think he'd be a full. I don't think he'd be a starter and like.
No, I don't think he'd be a starter.
Man,
I think he'd come off from the bench. But it's also what you're saying. On the wings, Yokoyama's just not getting any time, is
I'm
he?
really disappointed in that.
So,
I don't want to go on too much about Yokoyama because I feel like people are getting bored of what I'm saying. But imagine if you'd got a young Gaza in the team, that the manager's saying to him, lad, you're not pulling your weight with like coming back and doing this, that and the other. But then he's an absolute magician. I'd hate to feel that we were missing out on something like that. Could he be that next player? I'm not saying he's the next Gaza, but I'm trying to use it as an example of sometimes you have those wild cards in your team and you just let them just go and do stuff, son.
yeah.
And I'm trying to get... And there's not a lot of ammunition to back Yokoyama up, apart from the fact that he's exciting. Everyone gets off the seats when he gets himself in a position to put a cross in or score, as he has. And the last time, and I know I've said this before, the last time that he played, he created the winner by cutting inside, put it on his right foot, beautiful cross into the left foot of Keisha Anderson, who scored, and it was a 2-1 win in that league trophy.
Yeah.
And what has that kid done to annoy our manager since then? Has he, like, I don't know.
It will be the defensive
take
side
my
of
last
his
bit of
game.
milk out of the fridge or something and not replaced it? I don't know.
It will be the defensive, just to end on Yokoyama.
But
there,
you're
the
not
defensive
all
side
your
of the
players, and
game.
this is what I'm saying. Not all your players. And our game, isn't it supposed to be the attacking game? I know, this 10-second rule, getting back, and getting possession back, tracking back. But not every player has got that in them. But I tell you what, if they've got that bit when we've got the possession going forward, and that outweighs the defence, which I don't know, it seems like it to me, but I'm not the manager, am I? And like I say, we're all good armchair managers, aren't we? In this? Where was I?
You're on the outs.
Going outs then, so
Yeah.
getting back onto Deion Sanderson, which I've made this... I've said my feelings on this before. I'd like to keep Deion Sanderson. I know you don't like him.
Hey, come on. It's not like I dislike the
you're
bloke,
telling me
but-
how much you hated him the other day. And you were sending him those death threats.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
seriously though, I just think that he's one of these players that once he gets into the groove of things, he's solid. I do, but he's been tainted
confidence
with
player.
a move to Coventry.
Confidence player.
He is, yeah. He's been tainted with a move to Coventry, and that's a lot of places on the internet as well. That is. But as I say, Chris Davies has gone public and said no. He hasn't said no. He said that he's an important member of the squad, which he's going to say, isn't it? The other one that I've seen touted around is Lyndon Dykes.
Now, this has come as a surprise for me. What have you heard about this?
Just a few little places on some of these smaller
Really? About him moving on?
press releases.
It hasn't been working
just
for
going
him.
out on loan, actually.
Oh, really? Right, okay.
But I don't know. But he's 100%. But today I didn't notice him today in today's game when he came on. Got to be
hasn't.
honest with you.
No, it hasn't really kicked
0
off for
goals, 0 assists in 16 league appearances. Does he need to go and play more regular and get a bit sharper? What do we think? Here's I've called this. I've even written this on here. Food for thought. Is this where UB40 starts playing in the background? Hear me out. Hear me out. Don't throw anything at your computers or your phones or your tellies. Emmanuel Longello still plays for Blues. He's the nearest we'll get as cover for Buchanan without buying in or loaning in on that left side at the moment, isn't he?
Give his pants. I get what you thought.
Yeah.
No, go on, carry on. I'm cutting you off
So he's
now.
currently on loan, isn't he, at Cambridge,
Yep.
who are third from bottom of League One.
Yep.
Cost us £1 million from West Ham. And to be fair, he looked exciting when we had him. When we had him on loan, he was trying a bit harder. But now, I'm going to be honest. This is just devil's advocate stuff now. he hasn't done it for Blues, has he? There were so many occasions last season and the season before where he lost possession and
It
it
won't-
resulted in goals against. But West Ham, we paid £1 million for him. He hasn't inspired many players down there.
What
But
do you
could
think
Chris
was good
Davies
about
get
him?
anything out of him, do you think?
What do you think was worth having about Manuel Longelo?
Well, at the time, it was just probably one of the few left-sided players we had. We're looking very thin on the left side
I
at the
really
moment,
thought you was
aren't we?
immediately going to say going forward, because he scored 1 or 2 goals. He could put a ball into the box.
Well, he did.
That was it.
His ball into the box isn't great, is it? It's
Then what
probably
on
no
earth
better
is the
than what we
point?
got.
Because I thought your
All
point
it
here
is,
was
while Buchanan's out, he is a left wing back, left winger.
I
left
don't think
back.
he's anywhere near the quality of our team. The only thing that
Yeah,
I
you're
thought
probably right.
potentially would have been the fact that going forward he offers a bit of flair. That's it. Other than that, nothing. And the reason why that'll never ever happen with Chris Davis is because look at Yokoyama. It's the exact same situation.
Yeah,
he's
not
got
a patch
flair
on him,
going
is he?
forward.
It's not a patch
does
on him.
not.
But yeah,
track back.
bearing in mind it's Cambridge he's playing for. So far this season, 8 appearances,
Yeah.
1 goal, 2 assists. Full stop.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the defensive duties yet again in play that really lets them down. And I feel like he's got a bit of an attitude problem as well.
Do you reckon?
Manuel Longelo. It's just how he strikes me as a player. I feel he could be excellent, but I think that time is slowly starting to pass him by now. And
I didn't
he's
look
finding
how
his
old he
level.
was. He's not very old, is he?
No, he's still a young lad, I think. Still got it ahead of him. But if
The
you've
other
got
one I
an attitude
mentioned,
issue-
just while I was thinking about it, I was thinking about this Josh Williams. Do you remember him coming on at left back
against Shrewsbury in the cup.
Yeah,
Now,
and he
I'll
held
tell
his
you
own,
what,
didn't he?
that's a player that we can certainly look at in the future. I still think he's a little bit too young,
Bit green.
a little bit too juvenile. But I'll tell you what, one for the future, 100%.
Well, he's at Gateshead at the moment, so he's holding his own there, I think. But yeah,
He had frightening pace though. If that's
Yeah.
something that I can take
Yeah.
away from that performance against Shrewsbury, he definitely gave them something to think about. And I thought that he held his own for that one appearance. When else have you got him here? Charlton as well in the league trophy at left back.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the only time I've seen him. But he is touted as a centre back, and I think he's a right-sided centre back, to be honest with you. So that was just the fact that because he's played in that position, as has Brandon Keller.
Yeah,
He's played a
another
few
one.
times, hasn't he,
Yeah.
at that position. Looks really uncomfortable there, but he's. We all know what I think about Brandon Keller. I think he's an up-and-coming midfielder, but he's got no chance with the team at the moment.
Can
with what
I
we've got.
just before we move on? So we've spoke about quite a few bits and bobs here. You know, whether it's devil's advocate on calling the players back. Keep that in mind, Blue Noses. We're certainly not thinking about getting Emmanuel Longelo back anytime soon. As is the case when we speak about who's going out. We don't know, do we? But what would you say if we kept everything the exact same? I still think we're in a pretty decent spot. Don't think there's anything.
We are, but it's just showing that character, isn't it? We know we've got the character. We know that we can play these teams off the park, but it's gone. And it's going, it's diminishing. And yeah, blame it on the weather, blame it on teams really just shutting the back door and closing us down quickly. The fitness seems to have levelled out. We're having a lot of injuries. Someone mentioned on a comment on the last video, actually, with this sports science stuff that we're using from Tom Brady. I thought that's supposed to negate all the injuries and
Well,
it's
we
supposed
are
to
a
be
lot
optimum.
fitter if you look at the average
We are, but
across the
we didn't
division.
show that today. We looked very on par with them today, didn't we? I know it's a horrible place to
Tom
go.
Brady and
It's-
what he's doing for injuries.
No,
That's
I'm
more
not.
man management.
No, what I'm saying is this is supposed to
Tactics.
negate that. It's supposed to put us on, like a step ahead of everyone else in this league. And we're halfway through the season now, and that seems to be fizzling out for me.
Nah, I think it's football.
Maybe I've seen it differently, but yeah.
Yeah, I do get what
We
you're
looked
saying.
tired at the end of the game. Well, before the end of the game today, we were second to every ball. They were on fire for it. They wanted every ball.
Agreed.
But let's not go on too much about it. I wanted to move on to the catch-ups. So
Yeah.
I'm going to mention a couple of players that we had last season. This one was an interesting one for me because I didn't rate him at all, to be
No, I
honest
don't
with you.
think
And I
many of
almost
us did.
felt sorry for him. Do you remember Emmanuel Iwu?
I remember him as a model.
Still
more than
can't
I do
pronounce
as a
his name.
footballer.
Featured for Blues in the back line, didn't he, a few times last season when we got relegated, and didn't really set the world on fire, did he? and he went back to. I don't even remember this team. Cremonese.
Cremonese.
Where were they? Are they Austrian?
Austrian Bundesliga.
They're Cremonese are Bundesliga, are they?
Austrian
Yeah.
Bundesliga.
Well, he ended up from there at Sturm Graz, or Sturm Graz, as
Yeah.
some pronounce it, which is Austrian Bundesliga, for 1.6.
Oh, I've misread what you've put here. Cremonese, and then I've just gone Austrian Bundesliga.
Yeah,
I think it was in the.
Was he a division
French,
down?
French second division, I think.
Oh, it sounds it actually, doesn't
I
it,
think it
Cremonese?
was,
Yeah,
yeah.
might well be. But he ended up at Sturm Graz anyway for 1.6 million euros. Not long after he left Blues. And he's a regular. He's a regular in their back line, and they're doing okay. So I'll put the stats on the screen now for how he's doing. More wins than losses and draws.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
And he's doing all right. He's played 23 matches, which is 1,865 minutes. He scored for them. He's had 7 yellow cards, but his average ratings are pretty good. Round about the 7, or as on this site, it's a percentage, so it's like 72 the last game percentage. The lowest rating I can see on here was 69%. So it looks like he's old.
What does that say about our management at the time?
Well,
if he's pulling in these sorts of performances where his lowest rating was 69%, then it certainly isn't him that's the problem, is it? Which is shocking to say, because he didn't have many good performances for us, did he? Let's be totally honest.
He looked lost, didn't he? Sometimes, to be fair, he did look lost, and we weren't playing anything like magic, was we? It wasn't anything like complicated.
No.
And then the next one, just to round it all off, Juninho Bacuna.
Yeah.
Who's
Quite
singing
liked
the
him.
song in their head. He went off to the Pro League, Al Wada. Apparently he's worth 4.1 million euros. He's still only 27 years old. It's not going to plan for this guy at all. Al Wada are third from bottom in the Pro League. And he's literally, as we remember him, hit and miss. He'll have a good game every now and then. He'll score a couple of goals, and then he'll just go missing.
Fair weather sort
Over
of player.
Christmas. Well, in fact, I don't know how many games he's playing, but the last game, 23rd of December, they lost 1-0
Shock.
away from home. I'm not going to mention who they were playing against because some people will know them, but most won't. And then before that, his last game was the 29th of November.
It's a shame,
And they
isn't it?
lost that one as well. But then,
It's a shame with Bacuna, because on his day he was a good footballer, a top championship level player, but he just doesn't have that mental capability to keep up that sort of form, and he's lost himself for it, hasn't he, as a footballer? It's a shame.
is it? We've heard of these what we call fair weather players. Is he one of them? And
That's what I just said. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's a real shame, but he's not really our concern anymore, I suppose. It's interesting to look back and see how these players are faring. But one question for you: where's Oliver Burke? I'm joking. Yeah, the less said about him, the better, I suppose.
I have
isn't
no
it, really?
idea, but I know where you could find out. TikTok.
Funny. I like that. That's really, really good.
You'll be doing some dancing somewhere, I dare say.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Burke.
But yeah,
Literally.
so hopefully that was of interest to a few people. If you've got any news, or if you know anything more than we do, or any ideas, put it in the comments. We got the Facebook as well. We found it.
Yeah,
It was under the stairs, I think, wasn't it?
I quite like that catch up. That was good. That was.
It's all right, wasn't
We
it?
have some of the players. Who else did we lose? I mean, I don't suppose you did any on that. I always forget his name. No, was it? Oh, I was going to say Adam Clayton then, wasn't it? What was his name?
Oh,
The one who went to Turkey in the end.
yeah. I was getting mixed up with
Clayton.
yeah.
What's his name?
Don't know.
Adam.
You're going down the wormhole here now.
Do you know what? Forget about
We'd be
it.
able to
I can't be
go-
bothered.
we did this a few months ago. We couldn't remember. We had to look it up.
Yeah, we still can't remember now. But
What we'll do is we'll find out who it is and we'll put a picture of him at the end for you.
yeah, there you go. Over your face. How about
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
all right.
I think that draws that one to a close, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really early days. I mean, it's literally the 1st of January today, so there's going to be all sorts going on. I mean, if Chris Davis is to be believed, it's going to be a quiet one. Maybe there's not that much going on and there's not that much in the pipeline, but you can never tell, can you?
True.
Don't know if we're going to need backup anyway. With Lee Buchanan just going out as well, who knows? We might get someone to fill in that left back position just to be a little bit of a backup, as you say. But interesting. I've just thought actually, we've still got Samstead. Do you think that he might be looking for a way out? Because he's not really getting the game time for a player of his calibre.
He's only on loan, isn't he?
Yeah, he might want to go back.
Yeah.
But I've heard through other people discussing that same topic that it's a little bit more complicated, and even though that might be what he wants, it's not necessarily something that could be allowed to happen. But anyway, we won't get into that just now. I think we've given you guys enough to go off of there. Let us know your thoughts in the comments as always, and if you've liked this one, please do subscribe and give this video a like. It really does help us out. Take care of yourselves, though, Blue Noses. We'll see you on the next one.